Hello YouTube, this is Redhead Takes, back again with another weekly preview of Green Bay versus Chicago. It should be a good game, usually is. Packers versus Bears is always one of those games every year that just boggles the mind if you're a Packers fan, especially because it usually starts out with a poor starting quarter or two, but then eventually pull out and they beat the fuck out of the Bears. Probably going to be the same way this year. I think the Bears surprised last week. I don't think most weeks you're going to see that, mainly just because of the weather. It's just a wild card game that threw everything out there. And then San Francisco lost Elijah Mitchell again, and that threw off their whole game plan. But here we are again. This is your man Redhead Takes. As always, if you like what I'm doing here, hit the like button. Comment, subscribe, all of that, and let's get into it. This week, especially after last week, it's very critical for the Packers. They definitely can't lose this game because, honestly, I think they could possibly lose next week against Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay, which 0-3 start for the Packers would not be good. Now, their division is crappy enough that they could totally come back, but with the Vikings this year, unless they lose this week, it would be a very tough climb back up. And the Packers need to get back and closer to breaking the Bears' all-time wins record. And it starts this week with getting a win over the Bears and winning back the game they lost last week. But some XFactors in this game for sure are Aaron Jones, like Matt LaFleur said, they need to get the ball to Aaron Jones. Again, that's more of a coaching decision that didn't happen. I love it when coaches are asked about what went wrong in a game, and he said, "Oh, we need to get the ball to Aaron Jones more." Well, why didn't you? I mean, AJ Dillon got a lot of runs and carries, and he did great. So, I mean, all this talk about Aaron Jones not getting enough carries, though, they all went to AJ Dillon, and he did great too. So, I mean, sure, give him a couple more carries to AJ. I mean, Aaron Jones would have been great, but those went to Dillon, and Dillon still did good with them. So, I don't know how much that'll do. I mean, it'll be good to split them out more, get more of them into open space, running back passes, stuff like that. Those would really help open up the offense, especially with the young wide receivers. They are slowly improving, but they're still rookies, and we have to expect them to have some bad games here and there, and they'll get better with age. Like Christian Watson. I mean, sure, he dropped that pass. He can't drop that pass, but that is a problem that can be fixed. What can't be taught is his speed out of the gate. He just destroyed Cameron Dantzler, and if he just had his eyes firmly on the ball all the time, he probably would have caught it, and the game could have possibly been different last week. But we're not in woulda, coulda, shoulda land. We're in reality, and Christian Watson will get better. I mean, sure, it's a bad drop, but they still tried to give him more manufactured receptions throughout the game, and that's what happened. Romeo Doubs probably going to do well this week. I mean, he did pretty good last week for when he was out there. Unsure if Lazard is going to play this week. The last I checked, it sounds like he probably, there's a good chance he will. I don't think Bakhtiari will play. I don't think Elton Jenkins will play. Elton Jenkins, since he's younger, is probably closer to returning. But from what I've heard, this kind of injury that they had could, before they're fully back to game speed, probably could take about 5 to 10 weeks. So I'm not going to hold my breath that they're not here this week. I know we want them back, but can't rush these back for sure. You cannot rush them back. But last week, the thing that you can keep and fix with the offensive line is what I noticed watching last week in the second half. As soon as Zach Tom came in to replace Jake Hansen, the blocking, the pass rush got much better. I mean, Aaron Rodgers got killed in the first half. Second half, I think he only got hit once or twice, and he had a pretty clean pocket. That's why they were suddenly with the illusion of the ability to come back. It didn't happen, but they were definitely in the position to make that happen. Packers defense, I mean, looking at it closer after the last game, I mean, even right after the game, I was like, this defense is still good. And when you think about it, sure, they gave up 23 points, but when you look at that box score closer, you see 70 points given up in the first half, and then 2 field goals in the second. And that first field goal they had is a very deep one, so they were really good in the second half of limiting the Vikings. Definitely limiting Justin Jefferson. His yards went down a lot in the second half. That defense is still going to be elite this year. It's one game. Like I said in the last video, the Minnesota Vikings had their Super Bowl, and it seems to happen now every year now. But with the Bears, the offensive line for the Bears is going to have a rough week this week. Sure, San Francisco is also a great defense, but considering the field conditions last week, it's understandable that it wasn't so easy. And even then, they still got the field a good amount. That offensive line struggled. For the Bears' sake, they're going to need to be somewhat competent on the offensive line, especially to get David Montgomery going. He did not do well last week. He's going to have to do much better. Khalil Herbert, for when he was in there, was decent, but getting David Montgomery started has always been a key to looking great against the Packers in the first quarter. The past couple times they played, when the Packers have played the Bears, David Montgomery starts out hot, and then eventually they get behind, and then they just stop going to him. So for them, they're going to have to establish a run right away, and I think they can, just because it's the Packers, and for some reason against the Bears look better than they are, but that offensive line is still awful. Like the Pittsburgh Steelers, our offensive line is one of the worst in the league, and they're probably not going to trade Tevin Jenkins now, but if they were, that would be really dumb. Again, for the Bears defense, Roquan Smith will be a big factor for sure. Him getting to the quarterback will be huge if they want to have any success aside from the Packers. And Justin Fields is just going to have to throw better. He made some decent throws last week, but overall, I still have my doubts about him. And again, you can chalk some of that up to that bad offensive line. But again, Justin Fields at times throws a decent ball, and other times you're just out there thinking, what the hell are you doing? And again, this is just me as a football fan. I haven't played football since flag football, but just being honest here, it's just what I see. And I think the Packers will pull away in this one. It might start out close, but that home atmosphere, Packers haven't played there for a while, and they only get 7 home games this year. Sure, they're the home team when they play the Giants in London, but let's be honest, that's a road game. They're in London. The Packers have never played in London before. Giants have. So maybe that means something. I don't know. Probably not. But the Aaron Rodgers should do better. Should have more time to throw. I think the offensive line will be improved this week, especially if Zach Thomas getting the start, not Jake Hansen. Jake Hansen should not be in the starting line at all the rest of the year unless he's in for recovery, for someone getting a breather or something like that. But yeah, he's not good. He clearly showed that he's not a piece for the future. Not even a good, suitable stopgap option. But I think the Packers win in this game. 27-14. I think that's reasonable. I don't think the game is particularly close. Maybe out of the gate it is, but in the long run, I think the Packers dominate and pull ahead, and they show the Bears who's boss again. Packers should be tied for first by the end of the weekend. I don't see Minnesota beating Philly. If they do, F that. But as always, if you like my videos, remember to give it a like. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And notice a lot of the people watching my videos are not subscribed. So make sure to smash that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification twice to get all my videos. And as always, have a great day. Go Black Go. Go Pack Go. And God bless.